Hello my friends, welcome to Rain Francis Art. My name is Rain. Today we are going to do a little bit of art therapy. I've got a little rabbit here that I'm going to show you how I drew, and I hope that you join along, and I hope that you relax and you enjoy the video. So let's begin. This is what I'll be using to draw my rabbit today. I have some drawing paper here. I wanted to show you which one I have. It's a Strathmore Visual Journal. And it's 100-pound Bristol Smooth, 9 inches by 12 inches, and I have it landscape today. I also have a very funny looking stencil that I drew. I just wanted to have the basic shape of the rabbit, and I wanted to make sure I got the eye in the right place. So as I was drawing out the stencil, I was kind of studying my reference photo, and I got this basic shape here. It looks funny now, but hopefully it'll look more realistic when I'm done with it. I'm going to put a link in the description below of a PDF file that you can download and print out with this particular stencil, if you want to use it, that is. I also have some transfer paper, black graphite transfer paper, and as you can see by all the scribbles, it's very well used, and I'll show you. This is white graphite transfer paper. I don't have the packaging for the black one anymore, but it's the same exact thing except for this one's white. This is like the old carbon copy paper, and it makes transferring your stencil onto your canvas very easy. I don't like drawing directly onto my stencil, onto my canvas, because I find that, you know, if I have to erase, it kind of destroys the page a little bit. And for my media, I'm using, let me close this up here. I'm using ink and graphite, so I've got my Staedtler pigment liner, fine liner markers, and these are black, and there's a whole bunch of sizes, but I will definitely link in the description which sizes I end up using. Same thing with my graphite pencils. I have HB, 2B, 4B, 6B, and I'll let you know which ones I'm using. I have a couple of mechanical erasers, and I have my tickle trunk full of blending tools. I will probably stick to this. This is a Sofft, S-O-F-F-T is the brand. It's a foam tipped blender. But like I said, I'll be linking all that in the description. So why don't I start by transferring my stencil? And if you don't have graphite transfer paper, I have a video that you can watch. It's a quick video on how to easily transfer your stencil onto your canvas. So I'm just putting this under. Oh, and I wanted to show you, I wrote top here because sometimes I confuse the sides, and I've done this before. I've put the actual graphite side up, and I've done a whole extensive stencil, and then I go like this and there's nothing. So that's for me, top, so that I don't make that mistake again. So I'm just going to basically outline my stencil. I'm going to use just a regular pencil. It's got a little sharp tip on it, and I'm just going over my stencil. More or less. I usually start my videos with this part already done, but because this stencil is so simple, I wanted to show you how easy it is if you have the graphite transfer paper. I found that on Amazon, I believe. I don't think it was too expensive. So before I untape, let's take a look. And there we go. We've got the stencil transferred. Carefully remove that. All right, so there it is. So now what I'm going to do is start shading, I guess. Kind of did this on a whim today. I wanted to make sure I had a painting video today. Painting or drawing, that is. Some of the graphite transfer got outside of the rabbit here, so I'm just erasing it. I usually have a brush and I can't find it. Oh, here it is, my little paintbrush. Just to get all the dust off. So here we go. I'm going to start. Let me see, how am I going to do this? I think I'm basically going to do this type of thing. You see that? I'm drawing like hair or fur, and this is a 0.8 tip. So I'm just going to do the whole outline with some fur. I'm kind of hiding my outline here, my graphite stencil outline. And I just pulled a photo off the internet, do a Google image search for rabbit, and that's how I found my little furry fella here that I'm drawing. There are other places that you can go to find pictures if you want to draw them. I think there's one called Paint My Photo or Draw My Photo or something like that. And there are places where you can get royalty-free photos, for example, Pixabay. I go there quite often to get backgrounds for, I draw Looney Tune drawings. Actually, I'm going to show you. I've got Bugs Bunny here, all drawn out. I haven't colored him in yet, but he's pretending he's the Easter Bunny there. I decided to do a back view of Bugs this time. I usually do. I love drawing Bugs Bunny and Tweety Bird especially. But Bugs Bunny is fun to draw. He is a stinker. He's so mean to Daffy Duck. And you may notice a theme going on here. We've got a rabbit here, and I'm drawing Bugs Bunny. I have a website. It's called Rain Francis Creations, and the link is in the description below as well. And every week I host what I call Thursday Art and Dinner Date. And it's a blog where I have a link widget, and you can join in by adding your link to the widget. And all you have to do is share some food or art on your blog post, or even on your Instagram page if you want to do it that way. We have a nice community of friends who enjoy food and art, which is, I think, a great combination. So my prompt this week is rabbits, to make a long story short. So that's why I've got Bugs Bunny ready to be colored in, and I'm drawing this little rabbit here. Just being careful. I want to cover the outline here. And this little fella has furry ears, so this is just totally relaxing for me. I want to erase that. I want to see if I can erase that. Usually the graphite from the transfer paper is very easy to erase. As long as you don't press down too hard, you're not going to destroy your paper or your canvas. Okay, I'll wipe that off later. I want to make sure my marker is dry before I start going like this, or I might smudge my entire drawing. All right, so I'm just continuing with the outline here with my 0.8 fine liner, black fine-tipped marker. So with Thursday Art and Dinner Date, if you'd like to join in, we'd love for you to be there. The art prompt is always optional. You can share any art that you have created. And art doesn't necessarily mean drawing and painting, right? We create art in many ways. For example, cooking, crafts, gardening, sewing, anything that moves your creativity is art. Writing, short stories, poems, things like that. I'm just going to outline this area here. And on my website /blog, rainfranciscreations.com, I have a year's worth of prompts. just to challenge you. It's nice when people follow the prompts because I think it's fascinating to see how people interpret the prompts. I love it. All right. So once I get this outlined, I can start putting in a little bit of detail. All right, there we go. I think I can safely do this now. All right. Now, I'm just going to check out my little furry fella's reference photo here. I'm going to take a graphite pencil, and this is the darkest one I have. This is called extra black, but to me it's the equivalent of a 6B. So I'm going to call it a 6B. And I'm just going to shade in the areas that I see are the darkest areas of the rabbit here. And I'm definitely going to be adding detail after. And if I pause like this, it's because I'm looking at the reference photo. And in this case, I did take it off the internet, so I can't really show it. I'm so sorry about that. You know what I'm going to do from now on? I'm going to find, unless they're my own photos, I'm going to go on to the royalty-free places. Try to get those so that you can see a reference photo. But really, if you look up a photo of a rabbit, I'm sure you can find something similar to this. And the front of him, I'm just going to draw a little bit of an area here because I want to keep this white. I went a little too close to the eye there. Gently, gently erasing my graphite. I want to keep that area relatively white, and also kind of around here there's a nice white block, and a little bit on this side. I'm going to keep that white, and that's his nose up here, and that's under his nose and the top of his mouth. And around there, okay, that's white, and then he's got an area here. I'm going to keep this area here white. Okay. And an area over here is white as well. Okay. I know it looks kind of funny right now. So I'm just shading in the areas where I see the darkest values. And we'll see how this little fella looks after. We can put a little... All right, under his eye as well. Around here it's pretty dark. And I already put in here, maybe up here a little bit. His eye is very dark, but I think I'm going to use my markers to do that. Now I'm going to start blending with that Sofft foam tipped blender. And I probably will have to use my blending stump. Yeah. I don't know if you can hear it, but I've got some birds outside. I think that's a blue jay. Okay, so I have a blending stump here, and I'm bad, I never cleaned it, so I'm just going to make sure there's nothing on there. And I'm just going to go in and gently blend that with the blending stump. I was thinking that I just kind of want to do this all with marker. I might actually just switch that up and do it all with this marker. I've got the 0.8, okay? Sorry, there we go, 0.8. I'm just going to go ahead and just add fur. That's all I'm doing. Let me move my chair a little bit here. Get a better, there we go. I have snoring dogs in the background, which is always wonderful. I'm drawing the hair in the direction that it should be growing, I suppose. And the addition of the graphite makes that area look darker, so I'm glad I did that. That's my little puppy. His name is Benny. He's snoring. I recently adopted 3 dogs. I don't think it's been 2 weeks yet since they've been here. They're just so sweet. They all get along. They're related. Grandma, Mama, and Puppy. And I have my dog, Rottweiler Raven. She loves her new pack. She loves them. Especially Benny. She plays with the little puppy all the time. So my friends, I'm just kind of darkening certain areas that have a darker value. I think this will look a lot better once I fill in the eye, so why don't I go ahead and do that right now. I'm going to take a look at the reference photo to make sure that there are certain areas on the eye that are white. I already had that one slated as being white, but I'm going to color in the rest with my marker. I hope I'm not smudging. You know, sometimes if you put your fingers on the graphite, it smudges everything. in the winter time here where I live. I never see, I saw one once, a white rabbit, and it was beautiful. I see their tracks in the snow. I think actually they're called snow hares. They're white, you can barely see them against the snow, but I definitely see their footy prints. There, he's starting to look better, huh? He or she. I don't know if it's a he or a she today. But now we can see the rabbit a little better, now that that's all colored in. Now, the shape I made here is a little too round. It's supposed to kind of be pointed here. And it comes down quite black all the way down here. It's more like a long triangle than a round shape. But this side is a little rounder here. Okay, that looks a little better. Now in this area here, we have a lot of little dots, and this is where his or her whiskers are going to be popping out. Lots and lots of whiskers. So I'm just going to put these in now so that I don't forget about them. And on this side, they're not as visible here, but I'm going to shade this in a little darker. All right. These are not whiskers, I'm just doing fur. And I am by no means any expert in drawing fur. I'm just kind of trying to have a little fun today because I haven't done an art video in quite some time. And I want to make sure that I don't stop doing them. Because I find sometimes if you get out of the groove of doing something, you kind of lose your interest. And it takes a lot more effort to start again. I guess we can think of, when we exercise, right? I like to exercise. I find excuses not to do it sometimes because I'm busy, but I like to do it. But there was a time when I did not enjoy it. And I would say, oh, I'll just take one day off. No, I'll just take another day off. And then it ended up being 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. And I lost my groove. I didn't exercise for months, and it was really hard to start again. So, because I haven't drawn in about a week now, I just wanted to make sure that I do something, Keep that artistic muscle, nice and strong. And this is so very relaxing. Okay, let's take a look here. Around his snout, the hair kind of goes in this direction. Now I'm saying hair, but I mean obviously it's fur, right? Which is hair. And there is hair where those dots are. Now, as I'm doing this, I'm kind of covering up my stencil line there. can still see those dots. That's important, because I am going to be drawing in his whiskers. Okay, now here, kind of going this way. I'm sort of zoning out now. I stopped talking because I'm just like, wow, this is really relaxing me. This is therapy for me, you know. Art is therapy for me. And I've said this in other videos. I've had a lot of dogs in my lifetime, and I always say whenever I start making these videos, all of my dogs and my cats just relax and they fall asleep. And the new ones are doing the same thing. They're all relaxed. The only thing that'll wake them at this point, I think, is if I get a delivery. Or if they hear a car. They're still not used to the noises of this area where they now live. So, but they'll get there. I always say this is reality TV. Whatever goes on here, you're gonna hear it. So we've got I didn't even finish my sentence. We've got some darker shading up here. So what I want to do is I want to erase a little bit of these lines that I drew in to remind me not to put in any dark shading. Okay. And I'm just going to continue on. I probably didn't even need the graphite pencils. I think I decided a little while ago I'm just going to do this with ink. I'm just going to erase some of those pencil lines that I can still see. I want to make sure they're all gone. Okay. I'm just putting in a few hairs here and there, a little bits of fur here and there, so it doesn't look like the eye is completely, you know, like there's an outline. I want to try to make it look somewhat realistic, but we'll see if I can pull that off. If not, it's just going to be a lovely drawing of a little wascally wabbit. So I'm going to take my marker, and you see that little crescent of white? I'm just going to go around that and make a thicker kind of shade under it, just to highlight that white a little bit more. Putting tiny little bits there. And I'm going to do the same thing here. Just little bits of shading. And up here, can make that a little darker. There we go. And here too, I don't want it to be so stark white. Okay. I think it's looking kind of cute. I might take a different marker, a different size, because depending on the size, the smaller the number, like this is a 0.05, the finer the tip is, and it actually comes out lighter. You see, it's very, very light. And I'm not pressing down any harder or any lighter, just that's how light it is. It might be a little light. Let me see here. I'm going to take the 0.2 and let's see how that looks. Yeah, that's all right. That's not as dark. For those of you who like ASMR, I'm sure this is very pleasing for you right now. I'm going to give him a little more fur on his ears. He's got hairy ears. I've just made that decision. Maybe it's a she. Yeah, let's call her a she. We'll give her some eyelashes. There. I'm enjoying myself. myself. Alright, so what else can I do here? I've decided to pull out my Sharpie ultra fine point black because I want the whiskers to be a little darker, and because I used my 0.8 in these areas, I feel as though if I use the 0.8 the whiskers won't be dark enough. So I'm going to try to do it this way. And not only do we have whiskers, but we have, I guess, I don't know what these are called. Eyelashes. I'm pushing down to make a little dot and then pulling up. I used to call these little antennas that they have. Okay, and we'll do the same thing for the whiskers. And the whiskers start about here. Some long ones and some short ones. Plenty of whiskers here. See, they don't really show too much. Maybe I'll slow down. There we go. Okay, got some nice whiskers going on there. I just wanted to put those in right away. So I'm going to grab my 0.8 again, and I'm really just going to be putting in some finishing touches, just some extra fur here and there where I feel it needs it. And whether this looks realistic or not makes not one iota of difference to me. I just wanted to draw today while the dogs are nice and quiet. So you know what? I can call this an art therapy day. On the in the video description and the title, I'll call this an art therapy video because it was definitely therapeutic for me. And I hope if you're watching it, it's therapeutic for you too. Now, I do have a tendency to overdo it, so I may have to stop at some point, force myself to stop. There, I'm giving her a little smile. This is turning out to be like one of my cartoons. The little smiles on everything. I have a kids art channel too. It's called Rain Francis Art for Kids, and I always turn these little things into, you know, smiling, happy creatures that have cheeks and eyebrows and eyelashes. It's a lot of fun. I really have fun on that channel. And it's slowly growing, and I'm really happy about that. Because I've always wanted to make a career out of being an artist, and I understand how hard that is, you know. It's like trying to be a career musician. It's almost like, you know, it's saturated with all that. There's so many people trying to do it, and not one person is better than the other. It just has to do with luck and timing sometimes, you know. Why don't I take my 0.2? Yep, my 0.2 again. I'm just going to go over those little areas, those light little areas. Try not to overdo it too much. I'll give her some more furry ears here. I want that a little darker. I want her ears to come to a point. There we go. I'm happier with that. That's better. Like I said, I'm just adding a little bit more ink, but this is a 0.2 tip, so it's not very dark. It's a lighter tip. I shouldn't say lighter, it's a smaller tip, so the ink doesn't come out as heavy as the 0.8 or the Sharpie, which I don't even know what that is supposed to be. So it's great for adding detail when you choose your markers that have a lower number on them. Oh, I think this is looking pretty good. It's a far cry from how it started, huh? This turned into this. I love when that happens. Great. You know what? I'm pretty happy with this. I think I'm going to call this one done. Oh boy, did I miss my words there. I went blah, blah, blah. I'm way too relaxed. And I am not done yet. Hold on, I just saw something I want to fix here. I want this to be just a little more blended. You know, I don't want it to look like a shoe. I want it to sort of blend out a little better, the dark. There. Is there anything else I want to do? 0.8, by the way, sorry. It's my 0.8 marker. My darkest one besides the Sharpie. Maybe a little darker up here. I just don't want to stop because it's so relaxing, but I think I better before I overdo it. So there's my little rabbit, my friends. I hope you enjoyed this video today. Please share it with anyone you think might enjoy it, and leave me a comment. I love to read your comments, and I do reply to them. Let me know if you tried doing this, if you downloaded my stencil, and let me know if you thought it was easy or if yours turned out like mine. It may not have. I just wanted you to enjoy the drawing today and relax a little bit, and I wanted to relax a little bit too. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time on Rain Francis Art. Thanks so much, my friends. See you next time. Bye.